For even the most powerful individuals residing in the world of One Piece, there is no question of defying the world government's authority on any grounds, especially when it comes to matters concerning the Void Century. In fact, conducting any sort of research into this murky period in history is considered the ultimate taboo, equating to an immediate death sentence for all parties involved. Such was the fate of the scholars of Ohara, who took this risk in the pursuit of knowledge and paid dearly for it. Now that Dr. Vegapunk, the world's foremost scientist in One Piece, has been found guilty of the same taboo, a similarly bleak future awaits him, since he has been targeted for assassination by both Cypher Pole and Admiral Kizaru. The Egghead incident has devolved into a situation of utter chaos, with the Straw Hat Pirates facing off against an admiral and even one of the 5 elders. In all this confusion, the world government's objective of eliminating Vegapunk remains the same, but can they really afford to go through with it, losing technological superiority? Besides the overwhelming military might at their disposal, one of the ways in which the world government has been able to maintain some modicum of control over the seas is with the aid of the superior technology Vegapunk has developed on their behalf. This extends to even the most seemingly mundane inventions such as the use of sea-stone hull ships, which allow the Marines to navigate through the calm belts without being attacked by sea kings. Such an invention would not have been possible without Vegapunk's ingenuity, which is why he is so indispensable to the world government. At higher levels, he has been responsible for the creation of the live-stream Den Mushi, gas-proof suits, living weapons from devil fruits as well as artificial devil fruits, and even island-wide climate control mechanisms. Most importantly, he was the mastermind behind combining the art of cloning with the replication of devil fruit powers to create the Pacifista and the Seraphim. Both projects had their roots in Vegapunk's discovery of the lineage factor, and would not have been possible without him. In fact, the invention of the Seraphim was such a landmark achievement that it partially contributed to the abolishment of the 7 Warlords system, as they are cybernetic clones of the Warlords themselves. Hence, without Vegapunk's contributions to their arsenal of weaponry, the Marines would not be able to keep incredibly strong individuals such as the 4 Emperors under control, and maintain the balance of power on the seas. A threat of stagnation. Since the start of the series narrative, there have been definite upgrades in the world government's arsenal of weaponry, which are the direct result of Vegapunk's work with the Marine SSG Special Science Group. Much of this progress was built on the genius scientist's research as the leader of MADS, an illegal research institute that included renowned minds such as Van Smoke, Judge of the Germa Kingdom, Caesar Clown, and Queen, a future member of the Beast's Pirates. Since none of the other members of this institute have any reason or intention to ally with the world government, the loss of Vegapunk's scientific innovation would present a serious conundrum for the Marines. Each of the other members of MADS went on to ally with organizations such as the Don Quixote Pirates or the Beast's Pirates, in direct opposition to the world government, or used their research in a way that defied its authority, as was the case with Judge. Prior to the current situation on Egghead Island, the world government's only real option to keep up with the achievements of such individuals was to work with Vegapunk and entice him with near unlimited funding and resources to fuel his own research. Now, since Vegapunk might defect from the Marines on his own, there is a risk that Judge or Caesar might surpass Vegapunk's contributions to the world government's armory in due time, especially if Vegapunk himself is no longer on their side to fine-tune and enhance his inventions further. There is a very real threat of technological stagnation within the Marines for this very reason, as no one within the organization is anywhere near Vegapunk's level of genius. Unleashing the Mother Flame. Throughout the conflict on Egghead Island, there has been one particularly intriguing development concerning Vegapunk's relationship with the 5 Elders. It has been confirmed that the invention known as the Mother Flame, which Vegapunk had a hand in creating, was responsible for the destruction of the Lelusia Kingdom in the aftermath of the Leveling. Most notably, the 5 Elders are now desperate to protect Vegapunk's satellite York from harm, as she represents the only means for them to get their hands on another version of the Mother Flame. Considering how important this invention seems to be in the world government's plans for the future, such that they would go so far as to grant York the title of a celestial dragon in exchange for betraying Vegapunk's main body, there is no doubt that the 5 Elders desperately want another version of the Mother Flame. While York may be able to develop another another sample like the one she shared with the 5 elders, it is doubtful that she would be able to perfect this creation to the same level as Vegapunk and his other satellites can while working as a collective. This is the final most important factor in why Vegapunk's assassination order is a grave mistake on the part of the world government, especially since he will now likely set out to sea with the Straw Hat Pirates and lend his talents to their efforts to reach Laugh Tale and expose the true history of the world. And in other news, One Piece, Saturn vs. Bonnie explained. One Piece is currently in its Egghead Island arc, and this story has been incredibly intense for all the fans to witness. The ongoing conflict on Egghead Island between Vegapunk and his forces and those of the world government is heating up with each passing chapter. In the previous one, Saint Saturn, one of the 5 elders, made landfall on Egghead, and this was certainly a massive incident. Immediately after Saturn arrived, the intensity of the arc went through the roof, and, more importantly, it was right after that Bonnie, one of the members of the worst generation, went on to stab him directly in the chest, making him bleed. A confrontation between these two characters is now on, and this will likely result in a large-scale battle with one of the 5 elders. Saturn's arrival on Egghead Island. Saturn was sent to Egghead Island because Vegapunk controls the Seraphims and the Mark III Pacifistas. Given that Vegapunk would have been the highest authority had Saturn not been there, the victory of the Marines would have been almost impossible, even with an admiral. That is precisely why Saturn was sent to the island, given that he is the warrior god of defense science. Initially, Saturn wanted to let the Marines do their job, however, when he realized that it was impossible for them to win without taking the Pacifistas and the Seraphims to their side, Saturn decided to step on the island. In the previous chapter, he used a giant summoning circle, which suddenly emerged on Egghead, to summon himself to the island. He did so by taking his demonic form and revealing his devil fruit power at the same time. Saturn appears to have the power of the Ushi-Oni, or the Gyuki. The yokai from Japanese mythology are very powerful, and also demonic in nature to quite an extent. This power is what Saturn currently holds at disposal, and just a mere glimpse of it was enough for the fans to start worrying about their beloved Straw Hat Pirates. With Saturn on the island, things are heating up even more, as he has officially entered the war now. Injuring one of the members of the 5 elders should be the crime of the highest order according to the world government, and, now, Bonnie and the Straw Hat Pirates have to pay. Why did Bonnie attack Saturn? Immediately after Bonnie saw Saturn, she suddenly felt angry and turned all her rage towards the member of the 5 elders. While she was doing this, a flashback played through her head, and it was made known that Saturn was the one who ordered for the memories of Kuma to be completely erased during the Pacifista project. Vegapunk initially did not want that, and was against the idea. However, Saturn said that he would only proceed with the project if Kuma got his memories erased. Essentially, Saturn is the one responsible for turning Kuma into the mindless monster that he is currently. That is precisely why Bonnie is enraged, and why she stabbed him directly in the chest. Bonnie is no longer mad at Vegapunk because she knows that he is not the man responsible for doing that to Kuma. Earlier in the arc, when Bonnie was speaking to Luffy, she made it quite clear that she had let go of her resentment towards Vegapunk, and she now had a new target. In One Piece chapter 1094, the new target was revealed to be none other than Saturn, and it will be interesting to see how this battle progresses from here onwards. Bonnie thrust a sword deep into his chest and injured him to quite an extent. However, it must be noted that Saturn barely flinched when he was stabbed. He did not so much as scream or even close his eyes. Instead, he was looking Bonnie dead in the eye, suggesting that it did not work as well as she would have wanted it to. Saturn's retaliation. Fans should absolutely expect retaliation from Saint Saturn in the upcoming chapters of One Piece, be it in One Piece chapter 195 or the chapters after that. Saturn is most definitely here to fight. He would not have left his position if he didn't intend to join the war, and even if the pacifistas are now turned to his side, he will need to enter the war officially himself, especially after he has been injured. His first target should be Bonnie, given that she was the one who injured him directly and is closest to him. Given his tremendous powers, he should easily be able to take care of her. However, Bonnie might be saved by Sanji, since he's around as well, and is known for his incredible speed. Sanji could either end up saving her, or, if she gets hit, he could get enraged and attack Saturn himself. Meanwhile, some other members of the crew are also present on site. The likes of Luffy and Frankie are also there, and potentially, they might also clash with Saint Saturn. Kizaru is also around, meaning Luffy might have his hands full already when saving Vegapunk also takes priority. No matter which way fans look at it, the fight against Saturn is going to be a very hard one, especially because there don't seem to be enough numbers for the Straw Hat Pirates to continue this battle. How the Egghead War will continue. From here onwards, the Egghead War is likely to continue and get even more intense. Now that Saturn is officially in the war, the Straw Hat Pirates need to regroup and reassess their priorities. Saturn is most likely the strongest person on the island, which means Luffy should be fighting against him, not Kizaru. Sanji should be the one taking care of Kizaru at the moment, especially since he is already weakened, thanks to all the work that Luffy put in. Bonnie could perhaps help him in this endeavor. Meanwhile, Zoro should be the one to defeat Lucci, and the rest of the Vice Admirals need to be taken care of by the Straw Hat Pirates and the Vegapunks. Things are looking very bleak here, and it is clear that external help is required. Perhaps, the Straw Hat Grand Fleet might make their way to Egghead and play a part in the Egghead incident. However, regardless of whether they come or not, there is one major ally for the Straw Hat Pirates that is going to come into play very soon, and that is the Iron Giant. This giant was activated by Luffy when he tapped into the powers of Gear 5 and channeled the drums of liberation all over the island. This giant was supposed to have destroyed Mary Ajoy nearly 200 years ago, and now, on Egghead Island, it will be responsible for destroying the Marines and helping out the Straw Hat Pirates, along with Vegapunk in this protracted siege. That's a wrap for this video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel.